Hey guys, what's up? It's Anish here today with an unbelievable card trick where the spectator makes all the choices themselves. If you guys like the content I post on this channel, please do like, comment, and subscribe to show me that love and support. Actually, here with me I have 4 cards, and these 4 cards are quite important because this is an inside joke for those of you who watch the performance, which is going to happen now. So you'll understand what these 4 cards mean in just a minute. Actually, I think you want to know what these 4 cards are. Okay, great. I'll show them to you. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Great. So I'm going to start off by shuffling this deck of cards to remove the spectator's mind of the suspicion that we're dealing with a setup deck of cards. Great. So with that being said, I want the spectator to go ahead and call stop at any point they please. I'm going to be riffling through the cards, and it's the spectator's call to stop. I don't have a spectator here, so I'm going to go ahead and call stop on my own. Suppose right there, okay, that's a good point to call stop, just a random point. So this card right underneath here, I'm going to take the card and we're going to be looking at it. In the actual performance, I won't be looking at it, but for now, since I need to remember it for later, I'm going to be looking at it, the 10 of diamonds, okay? Hopefully you could see that. So I'm going to place the card down and we could readjust the packet, and let me take the 10 of diamonds and I'll place it in the middle of the deck, like so. And from there we could go ahead and do multiple different things. We could go ahead, deal a few cuts, for instance. We could go ahead, give the deck a good shuffle, right? So once we're done with that, I want the spectator, I want you to go ahead and select 4 random cards from the middle of the deck. I'll tell you why we're doing this after we do it, but for now let me just explain the process. Here we have, what is this, 50 plus cards. I've lost a few cards, I think, I'm not really sure, but we have a lot of cards. I'm going to spread out the cards like so, and basically what I want you to do is, whenever you feel like some card has meaning to you, or if some card is right, go ahead and tap the back of it, okay? And I'm going to push it forward like so, and we're going to continue. And we're going to do this thing for 4 cards, okay? Great. So I'm going to start off spreading slowly, and just go ahead, tap the back of any card you please. Let's suppose you tap the back of that one. Okay, great. I'm going to keep going. Suppose you tap the back of this one. Great. So that's the second card. We keep going. You tap the back of this card. Card number 3. We keep going. And tap the back of this card, for instance. So all these are random choices because the spectator is going to be doing them in the actual performance when you're performing. So here with us we have 4 cards, right? So I'm going to go ahead and remove the cards from the packet. We could leave the deck off to the side. And now let me tell you why we selected these 4 cards. We selected these 4 cards because I wanted to make a trick where the spectator could find their own card. The 10 of diamonds that we saw before, I wanted the spectator to find the card on their own by selecting the cards, but I felt like 1 card would be too unreasonable to find it. We at least need to give some room for error, right? And hence I picked 3 extra cards just to be safe. So, with that being said, the 10 of diamonds, right? Let's go ahead, let's see if the spectator has managed to find their own card by luck. Oh my god, that's amazing. You did it just by picking random cards which you felt in your gut instinct. You got the 10 of diamonds, and that's surprising. We didn't even need these other 3 cards. Great, so that was the trick. I really hope you guys like that. It's a really powerful trick and I love doing it. That plot twist at the end, it's really good. And I love this trick. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you how I did it. The technique itself, the main technique of this trick, I learned in a separate video, and I kind of just put everything together and came up with this trick, which is really fun to perform. So there is a setup for this trick. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it is, and that is taking any 4 cards of your choice. I took the 4 10s, you could take any 4 7s, 4 6s, whatever you please, and go ahead and place that at the bottom of the deck, okay? So my cards are arranged like this. Spades, clubs, hearts, and diamonds, and I go ahead and place in the bottom of the deck, like so. Now, I went ahead at the beginning and gave shuffles, right? So those shuffles basically are shuffles from the middle, so I never really touched the bottom 4 cards. That's easy to do, just pull out a packet from the middle and carry on with the shuffle, okay? That's an easy shuffle, and you could just say, okay, I'm going to shuffle the cards just to ensure that we are mixing up the packets to so that the spectator doesn't speculate anything. Great. So once that's done, you go ahead and you give a cut on the deck. So this is a cut like that. You'll lift around half the packet with your right hand. You place it or you grab it with your left hand, and you're placing this on the top. But you don't just place it on the top. As you're going to place it softly, and I want you to hold a pinky break. Okay, so basically what we've done here is our packet is like this. We're doing that. We're holding a pinky break, and we now have the 4 10s right above our pinky break. And for help, you could tilt the deck a bit like this, a bit to my right. On the video, look to your left. Because if we tilt it like this, there's lesser chances of the spectator being able to see the pinky break. Great, so once your hand is tilted like this, you tell them, okay, I'm going to go ahead and riffle through these cards, and I want you to call stop at any point where it feels right. So you're going to riffle through the cards. Make sure you're still holding on to the break, but just riffle like normal, okay? Just riffle like normal. Don't abruptly stop where you have that break and then just keep going. I've had that happen to me sometimes, where I just go like this. I stop where my break is, and then I continue going like that. So that looks kind of off. So instead, just try to make the motion continuous. Let them call stop whenever. And let's suppose they call stop right over there, okay? It doesn't matter where they call stop, because this next move is very important. You say, okay, right over there, does that look good? They say, yeah, that looks good, right? And as soon as they say that, you twist your angle a bit like so, and as you're twisting, your middle ring and pinky finger of your right hand are going to come forward and kind of cover the front face of the deck. And when they do, all you're going to do is have your right thumb reach into the back, the pinky break, and just pull the entire packet up, no matter where it is. So we're literally forcing this 10 of diamonds onto them. It's like they have no choice. So let me explain that again one last time. You're riffling through the cards. They call stop anywhere. It doesn't matter. Let's suppose right there. So this is a different point compared to your pinky break. Your pinky break is still there, right? So you're still going to hold this with your left thumb and say, okay, right over there. And as you twist your hand, you're going to cover it with your right hand fingers, middle ring and pinky. And you're going to use your right thumb to just pull up the entire packet from the pinky break, okay? Just like so. So now you've just forced the 10. I hope that makes sense, and we'll carry on. So once you've done that, okay, so in the trick, it's easier because all you have to do is you have to take that card, say, okay, take a look at that card, and while they're looking at it, you go ahead and you place this back on top. Okay, you place it back on top, but you're still gonna hold that break. And I'm gonna tell you why in just a second. But you're still going to hold that break with the 3 10s. The 3 10s are still over here, okay? So you go ahead and hold a break, you ask them to see their card. Great, they've seen their card, they return it back. Now again, you have your hand tilted a bit to the left to avoid them from seeing the break. You say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and place it back in the middle of the deck, and you basically place it right below the 10. Got it? You place it right below the 3 10s, and you push it so it's on the bottom, the last card of the upper packet. Hopefully that makes sense. The last card of the upper packet, so you push it upwards. Now you say, okay, at this point we could do anything we want. Just move your right hand away from the deck for a second to show that you're not holding it weirdly or anything, and then just say, okay, we could go ahead, deal a few cuts, and all you're doing here is you're taking it at the point where there's the break. You place that first, and then we have our bottom packet, and we're going to just split that into 2 packets, place one half and place the other half. So what we did there is we forced these 4 cards to the bottom. Okay, we forced the 4 10s to the bottom. Let me do that one last time quickly for you guys. We have a pinky break here with the 4 10s on the last bit of the top packet. All we're doing is we're taking our top packet, we're placing it in the bottom. The 10s are now in the bottom of the deck. We split this bottom packet into 2, that and that. I hope that made sense, because that's how many times I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to move on to the next part of the trick. So here is the next subsection of the trick. Okay, this is where our final subsection of the trick. So This is where the spectator goes ahead and taps the back of any 4 cards. But before that, you're going to explain to them, okay, in this part of the trick, I want you to pick 4 random cards, and I'm going to tell you how to do it, but I'm going to explain everything at the end, why you're picking these 4 cards. Okay, so you just leave it there, and you go ahead and tell them, I'm going to be spreading through these cards, and as you can see, we have 50 plus cards over here. And you could just make up some story in this case. I said I may have lost some, and just as a joke, and I got a laugh out of it. And while you're doing that, you should just spread through the entire deck, and this is an excuse to hold a break above the last 4 cards, which are the last 4 tens. Okay, so you're going to be holding so you just spread through the cards. Let me show you one time in speed, spreading through and say, okay, I have, what is that, 50 plus cards. I think I lost a few of them in previous tricks. And as you're squaring up the deck, you just want to hold a pinky break above the last 4 cards. Hopefully that makes sense. And now we move on to saying, okay, now I want you to, as I spread out the deck, tap the back of any 4 cards. I'll protrude it forward like that, and we're going to continue, and we're going to do that for 4 cards. And they say okay. And we're spreading through, they pick 4 random cards. Okay, so I think you understood by now we're forcing the 4 tens from the bottom into their hands. And the cards you're selecting right now don't even matter in the trick, but we're just trying to make it seem as though they're the ones selecting the cards. So that's 4 cards. Great. So this move is something you have to pay careful attention to. We have 4 protruding cards. From here, what you do is you hold these 4 cards like this, you square them up, and you tilt them to the left, slightly like so. Okay? When you tilt them to the left, you should have room in the right edge to hold onto the deck like this. Okay, between this edge and, okay, I'm moving my mat, okay, between this edge and this, your thumb can go right over here, okay, so you're kind of holding the edge of the deck. Now, remember you're still holding a pinky break for the last 4 cards. There's a lot of holding here, so you have to be careful with that. Holding a pinky break with the last 4 cards. So what you're going to do with the last 4 cards is retract it from the deck, and as you're going to pull out these 4 random cards, you're going to hold these 4 tens with you as you're going to pull them out. So in speed, it's going to look like you have your 4 cards here, you square them up, you turn them, you hold on to the deck with your right hand, and you pull out these cards. So what you have now is you have 4 random cards, you're still holding that break, and then you have your 4 tens. Right? Make sure to still hold on to that break between the 4 tens and the 4 random cards. And this deck is now in your right hand. And you say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and place the deck off to the side. And as you're going to place the deck off to the side, tilt your hand slightly, your left hand. And as you're going to move in this motion, you're going to just hold on to the top 4 cards on top of the break and go ahead and keep it there. That one smooth motion, and you're going to lose the 4 cards that they just selected. Meaning you're now left with the 4 tens. And after this point, it's easy. So you just look at the cards and you say, what was your card for the first time again? Actually, I forgot. Before all that, you tell them why you picked 4 cards. You picked 4 cards to increase the odds of making the spectator find their own card. You go through these cards, you ask them what their card was, they'll say the 10 of diamonds. You say, wow, actually, you managed to find your own card. They're surprised as heck, but the trick isn't even over. The real surprise only comes from here. And then you say, I guess we didn't even need the other 3 cards. Great, so that was the trick. I really hope you guys enjoyed the trick, and if you guys like the content I post on this channel, please do like, comment, and subscribe on my videos. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. See you all later, and peace.